In his book from 1970, Alfred A. Montepert famously wrote, "Expect problems and eat them for breakfast." This simple yet powerful quote reflects the mindset you need when facing life's challenges. Have you ever noticed how careers often reward people based on the size of problems they solve? The pattern is clear. Small problems usually lead to small paychecks, while solving the bigger, more complex problems brings greater rewards. Think about it. Doctors and lawyers, they're highly paid because they solve life-altering problems in health and in law. In sports, teams struggling with performance, they often bring in new talent or a better coach to solve their challenges. But it's not only about money. There's also a deep sense of fulfillment in being a problem solver instead of a problem dweller. After all, the only place where people have no problems is the cemetery. Everywhere else, problems are a normal part of life, yet sometimes problems pile up and they feel overwhelming. Instead of tackling them, we count them, we complain about them, and we carry them like heavy baggage. That's when perspective matters most. Even the ancient Greek philosophers said what happens to us is never as important as how we respond to what happens to us. Your response, not the problem itself, shapes your success. When you're unsure about a decision, a best-worst analysis gives you a clear way to see the full picture before moving forward. It forces you to think through both the benefits and the risks of an action and inaction. Here's how it works. First, start with just one potential action or solution you're considering. Take that one potential action and then run it through the following 4 questions. If you do blank, what are the 3 best things that could happen? Now, circle the one that's most likely. If you do blank, what are the 3 worst things that could happen? Now circle the one that's most likely. If you do not do blank, what are the 3 best things that could happen? Circle the one most likely. If you do not do blank, what are the 3 worst things that could happen? And circle the one that's most likely. Then finally, step back and look at the 4 scenarios you circled. Which one of the 4 seems right and wise for you? Not the one that scares you the least or excites you the most, but the one that makes the most sense and seems the most likely and feels like the wisest option. This step requires balancing both your logic and your emotion. So if you're stuck on this last step, take your work to a mentor or trusted advisor and show them the matrix and explain where you feel uncertain. You'll find that because you've already done the thinking, their feedback will often confirm what you knew deep down all along. Let's take the rise of video streaming as an example. Back in the early 2000s, video rental stores had a decision. We have to adapt to new technology, or we have to stick to the old model. One option was do adapt. Best case outcomes include new markets, stronger growth, and long-term survival. Worst case, the shift might cost money up front. Another option was do not adapt. Best case outcomes were short-lived profits from business as usual. Worst case, the company would become irrelevant and close. Now, by running these potential solutions through a best-worst analysis, the wise choice would have been clear: adapt. Unfortunately, many ignored the trend, and the rest is history. Whether you're just starting your career or you're navigating midlife challenges, problem solving is a skill worth sharpening. It's about shifting your mindset from complaining to creating solutions. Think of that coworker or the friend who keeps talking about the same issue without ever fixing it. Instead of joining in the cycle of complaint, consider how you might guide the conversation toward possible actions and outcomes. In the end, problem solving is less about fixing every issue perfectly. It's more about growing stronger through the process. Some problems are small and urgent, like fixing a flat tire. Others are bigger and they require more reflection, like tackling poor time management. By using the best-worst analysis, you give yourself a clear, balanced perspective. Problems stop looking like roadblocks, they start looking like stepping stones. So, the next time you're faced with a challenge, pause, walk through the matrix. The wisdom you'll uncover may not only guide your next step, may also help you build resilience, confidence, and clarity for every decision ahead.